So again, just a simple partner bow.
ます。
お願いします。
お願いします。
ます。
So a little warming up again to start off with. And remember, when you're warming up, it's not just about warming up your body parts, but warm up the connection of your body parts. So, you know, check in with your body alignment and the connection, how everything's connected to the other things, right? The ankle bone is connected to the foot bone and all that kind of stuff. So one of the things that helps me a lot when I'm trying to do that again is thinking about creating space. Like, because so often in regular life, you know, you kind of like lean on your bones and on your joints and let them hold you up like this, right? So, and it's fine, it's very restful, except it's a little bit crunching. It puts you out of alignment, right? Because it kind of crunches one side and lets the other side be free. So, so you know, for practice, you want to fix that. And so one of the things is all those crunched parts, you want to lengthen them and spread them out again and create a little space. So again, starting with your feet and starting from your extremities, your feet and hands, make a little space in all the places where space belongs, and work your way up, right? So from the inside of your palm, and sort of flex it a little bit, to the inside of your elbow, to the front of your shoulder and under your arm, up to the space in the front of your neck, the window in the back of your neck, the top of your head. Right? And then feet too, right from the arches of your feet, the space behind your knees, the space where your leg folds in your hip, your center between your ribs and your hips, right? All of that. And suddenly now when you inhale, all that breath you take in goes a lot further than it went before. So try to hold on to that feel. And by doing this, your body automatically starts to put itself in line the way it should be, right? So try to keep that in mind as we move through the warm-up, right? So reaching up. And down. So this opens your back, right? And this opens your front. And then shifting your weight to the one side of your body, like extend this line all the way up. Reach, 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 reach. Establish that line and then keep the line so it goes even a little bit more. Okay, and the other side. So it's like you can feel a cord from your heel to the tips of your fingers on that side of your body. And then keep it. Back to the first side. Rotate and face the floor. Continue around. And the other way. Okay, and again, checking the contact of the soles of your feet with the ground. Roll edges a little from side to side. Can you see? Okay, and then forward and back. So on the toes, roll back on the heels, toes and ball of foot and heel. It's okay to let it rock your body a little bit too, right? the whole deal is we're feeling how it moves the balance in all of our body, not just in our feet. Right. And then, so you got forward and back and side to side. So the next thing is try for circles. So the pressure on the between your foot and the floor is making a little circle. So take one side and roll to the front, and the other side and roll to the heel, and continue around. So little circles underneath each of your feet, and the other way. Bringing awareness to the fingers and palm of your feet. Remembering they're not just chunks of meat at the ends of your legs that you stand on, but they're sensory organs that could be used a lot more than we use them. So waking them up a little bit. Hey, knees. Although we say knees, I think this is secretly a lower back exercise. I feel it here more than I feel it here. You can see where you feel it. Okay, and hips. So that is your head is going to stay still, your feet is going to stay still, and the middle is going to go around like you're standing in a big barrel trying to wipe off the inside of the barrel. Okay. Okay. Shoulders. And the biggest circle as you can manage. So your shoulders go up as high as they possibly can, then as forward as they possibly can, then as down as they can, then as back as they can, and continue around. Like really try to take this opportunity to increase your range of motion. And across. And this time across, but roll your arm, drop your shoulder, drop your elbow, and pull on something a little lower when you stretch. So here's the high version, and you can drop your shoulder, drop your elbow, and then pull it across. So I missed last night's class with Jane Sensei, but I remember a week or so ago, she was having us drop, and in particular, making sure that elbows drop first. So not out and around, but down and around. Okay, so just a quick review. We started off a couple of weeks ago thinking about contra body motion, right? This kind of business. And how that helps us with balance, because we're counterbalancing. Always when some part is going forward, like your foot, some part is going back, like your hip, so that you stay balanced, as opposed to lumping forward with all of your weight all at once and having to catch yourself. Right? So drop a little, feel with your foot where you're going, and then decide if it's safe to go. Just like the tiger stalking that we saw. So, and we practiced it from side to side, right, and forward and back. The idea being, right, you keep your vertical axis maintained as long as possible, extend your feelers, and then choose to go or not, right? when we also, last time we also practiced using that in the harmony change to drive some rotational momentum. We did it with our hands. Right? It's a swinging idea, but again, the foot goes, the hand goes, but the center stays here. You don't like throw yourself, right? So always you maintain a quiet center and let everything else go around it. So a simple hanmi change can develop can be used to develop power, and then we did a similar exercise with Joe. So instead of just sending our hands out, we used it to send Joe out. Stepping out, I'm reserving my hip the same way I would if I were going to send my foot out. So I'd be balanced, but instead I send the Joe out. If I send my hip and the Joe and my snap all at once, again, I end up overcommitting myself, exposing my center, and sort of losing my balance all along the way, all of which are, bad usually. So, boom, boom. And so I was thinking about it, and all of those practices have in common this idea of sort of bringing all of your motion through your center line, through your center axis on the way out. But bring it into your center, and then all motion proceeds into your center and then out from your center. And it doesn't always look like it, right? Sometimes it looks like it's going out and around. Out and around. But I think if you look more closely, people that are good, anyway, to my eye, they're not going out and around. They're going through their center and out. We were working with Joe last time. I'd like to continue with that. Do you guys have your Joes handy? One really good way to maintain balance and stability and flexibility and potentially generate power, right, is always moving through your center so that you're never sort of overextended in any direction. Bring it to the center and then go out. Bring it to the center and go out. So I've got a little exercise I'd like to start with. This is just sort of a cute little exercise, like a party trick kind of thing, but it, I think, also communicates the right idea. And so for this, let's see, there's two. Yeah, let's start with this one. So if you hold your Joe in the middle, then switch it to palm up, and take the knife blade of your second hand, right, underneath, and you're going to sort of try to push the Joe across, like that. Boom. And what happens is, as you do that, the Joe is going to roll from the gripping hand into the knife blade hand. Like I said, it's a party trick. So say we're all starting with our right hand palm up. You're going to take your left hand, knife blade edge, and you're going to sort of push the Joe across the top of your, right? With your left hand, you're going to push the Joe across the top of your right hand. Your right hand's going to open a little bit. So the Joe's going to only sort of be between your thumb and forefinger. So it's going to, so it's going to be able to rotate. So like so. Now at this point, it's going to roll across the bottom of your left hand until your left hand can capture it here between your thumb and your forefinger. Not even your forefinger, it's See this, it's up in here. And that's when the grip transfers to the second hand. It's hard to do slow. If you go a little bit faster, even just a tiny bit, the rotational momentum of the jo will tend to keep it, will stabilize it and tend to keep it rotating right in place. Because if you're too far off to the side, then it does weird stuff and it gets unbalanced. So you want it to be right here in the middle. Boom. I'm holding it in my right hand, palm up. I'm coming in with my left hand. I'm going to push it over the top. Keep going until it rolls into my left hand, like so. I'm starting with my right hand. I'm right-handed, so this one works better for me that way. Here and around. Boom. 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 And so the tricky, so a lot of times people just do this. Can you see the difference? Like this is good, but it doesn't have that cool party trick feeling where you let the jo, because of its gyroscopic effect, actually roll across the back of your hand, right? So properly done, there's a moment when this thing, when you're not holding it at all and it's just rolling across the back of your hand underneath where seems like it should just fall down, but it doesn't. It goes like this until it comes into your thumb and you can hold it. Altogether, if you're repeating, I'm starting with my right hand palm up. I take the blade, I let it roll along the back of my left hand. Now it's in my left hand. My left hand until it's palm down. Now my right hand grabs it, also palm down. Flip. Now I'm palm up and start again. So all together, we're doing a series. Let the knife blade hand stay palm up for the entire time. It stays, it stays. Then you can turn over once you have a good grip. The reason I bring it up is because it's got this feeling of once you get the hang of it even a little bit, you start to feel that the motion is concentrated in the center, right? Boom. Whatever motion you make here, that's the source. And all this, the jo swinging around the outside, making a big circle, that's the side effect, right? Boom. 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 And your hands are right here in front of your center, right? And you're doing everything like where it should be, like here. And so it's that feeling that really we're trying to get at, and not just give you, you know, a good trick for your next Aikido party. Now there's a second one that sort of might help to give this idea for you as well. And that one is a sliding. So here you want to have one hand up and one hand down. Palm up, palm down. And you're going to slide them both to the center. And then slide back out. Slide them both to the center. And then slide them out. Slide them both to the center. As they get toward the center, you want to have sort of the physical sensation of like pressing space together. And as an effect from that, your jo also gets sort of almost like it's getting compressed here, and then it releases the energy by spinning. Compress, spin out. Compress, spin out. Compress, spin out. Compress, spin out. Boom. 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 So as your hands get closer to the center, the energy gets more concentrated. It flips. And then as your hands draw out to the edge, the energy disperses. If you've ever done the hurricane trick with a spinning chair, you sit in a spinning office chair, anything that's a spinning stool, whatever, and you get yourself going, and then you bring your hands in, bring your hands and your knees in, and right away you start spinning faster, right? And then you open up, and right away you start spinning slower and come to a stop. Well, you see it in the ice skaters all the time, right? When they spin, if they want to go fast, right? They're spinning, they go like this and they spin really fast. Well, they don't look like this. They look, beautiful, but boom. And then when they're ready to stop, they open out. Right? And hurricane, right? Right in the center, the eye of the storm, it's quiet. But where is the highest speed winds? Just on the inner wall, where the lowest speed winds all the way out at the edge, right? So both of these little spinning exercises sort of are designed to help give you that feeling. Boom, right? So right here in the center, as your hands start sort of pressed together, that's when the energy comes most concentrated. Boom. And what you want to sort of realize is that it's not just your hands coming close together. They're not, but coincidentally, they're coming close to your center also. So it's your body center, not just, the center of the Joe that's happening here. So anyway, all of that to sort of give you the idea. Now, how does the idea come from practice, right? So, and this doesn't have to be Joe work. Works with a sword, works with open hand, works with a variety of things. But today, we'll try it with Joe. So, so there's a particular Joe move that I've been enjoying a lot lately, and it's this one. You make circles. So if you hold the Joe, not quite in the middle, about maybe 2/3, 1/3, like so. And then you let it rotate like this. So the Joe is sort of by your tricep here, not back by your shoulder, but here, sort of in front of your body, not behind. And then you can just sort of comfortably reach across the front of your body and grab onto the Joe here. So then if the bottom hand grasps the Joe, lets it swing out, you would hit your enemy underneath the chin. Let it come around to the other tricep, just a little above the elbow, right? Bottom hand grasps it, swings it out. So if I do it straight on, you can see. So the swing of your Joe is going to be from the lower left to the upper right. So it's a diagonal, and then it's going to loop around to this position each time. Boom. Got it? Okay. All right. So then if you got that, the next thing is to time it, sync it up with your body movement, right? So remember we were practicing Hanmi change and all the power that's potential energy that's available to you in your Hanmi change. So I've got the Joe by my right arm, in my right hand, and I've got the left Hanmi. Right? So the Joe is back on the right and my right foot is back. So now I'm going to step up, and as I step forward, the Joe comes out. As I step back, the Joe comes back. So now I'm in right Hanmi, and the Joe is by my left arm. So try it a few times. You want to try to sync it up, the motion of the jo and the motion of your body so they go together. So, so, so. If you're inside, by the way, you want to choke up on your jo so that you're holding it closer to the middle. That way it doesn't, when you swing it out, it doesn't go so far. If you're outside, you can hold a greater length and then like really let go if you want. So a couple things about this exercise, right? One is you want to start to feel like the jo is, you and the jo are one organic unit moving together. So you want this to be in a place where it's comfortable to grab. So if you can see the jo is actually in front of my body when I make this transfer. It's not sort of back here somewhere. So let your upper hand grip relax enough that the jo can be pretty close to your elbow, like just a little bit above, not way back here. And if you hold it too tightly, like if I have a tight grip here, the end of the jo would be back there somewhere and hard for me to get. So relax it a little, right? Boom. Also, keep your elbows tucked in a little bit. Like you don't want to have your elbows out here somewhere. Like your shoulders should be down, your elbows should be tucked so that ideally your hands and your elbows are close to in front of your center line as much as possible. Right? I mean, not all the time, but closer to here and less out here somewhere. Like some people do this like sort of out here. Can you see the difference? Right, and none of you are doing that, but the more you can sort of keep it right here, so that the jo actually almost rubs against the edge of your body where you can use your body as a guide for the movement, right? You're welcome. I hope it helps. So can you be powerful? You can, but you want to sort of, for our purposes today, it's more about figuring out how to move in concert with your stick. So the stick isn't like a tool that you're using to accomplish a goal, but more a part of the whole that we're doing, right? So you keep this a little in. As you go, right, you don't want to have the rest of your body sticking out. You whack it. Like I've whacked my knee plenty of times on this kind of stuff. So your hip actually, when you step back, your hip goes back and it makes it more out of the way. And your whole lower body also goes out of the way. And it's part of the reason why the Hanmi change works well there. If you don't Hanmi change, you're liable to whack yourself. If you do Hanmi change, that whole half of my lower body is removed. But I still get to maintain the line. Good. So, right, so this is an expression of your Musubi training. Musubi, unity between you and the jo in this case. So if your eyes were closed, with your eyes closed, you can still feel where the jo is coming. You can still feel it grazing the edge of your outside arm. Your second hand knows where to wait to receive it. Right? You don't have to go looking. The jo comes to your hand. Right? I put my hand here, and the jo comes to it. Ike Sensei said once, you have to, in order to do Aikido well, you have to look into the future. He said not far into the future, just usually a second or two, and see where your partner in this case is about to be, and then go and wait for them there. It's not like you always have to catch up. You don't. And in this case, you're the one driving. Like you're sending the jo right here, right? So you can just put your hand here and wait for it. No need to be grabbing or looking around. Just relax. Let it come to you. The reason why I wanted you to sort of familiarize yourself with this motion is because I think it's a good one to feel having the momentum draw to your center and then go out from there. So everything returns to your center, not out here, but draw it in so it's with you, and it sort of comes and sort of drops down your center column just a little bit, right? So the jaw comes and settles a little bit in my center column and then can go out from there. So always to the center and then out. To the center axis and go out. To the center axis and out. Right? So it's not just this thing that happens with your hands. Right? Can you see the difference? Like, this is fine, but this is now sort of in exercise territory. And what you want, boom, 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 boom. Collect it in your center, go out from there. Collect it in your center, go out from there. If you would like to be a coiled spring, you could even add that to mixture. We were talking about that a little bit last time. Right? But the idea is every time, try to feel it collect in your center and then release out. Collect in your center, release out. Collect in your center, release out. So this is the goal. This is the thing you'd like to try to feel. Yeah, let's start with the left on me and on the right hand for a minute. So step up, send the jaw out. As the jaw comes back to you, sort of literally try to feel that you're sinking just a little bit. Boom. Or compressing just a little bit. In place. And here. So you're literally settling. Right? Settling. So from here you send it out. Come back. Send it out. Right? You can feel the pads of your feet on the ground. So every time, send it out, step up, step back, You can even say that, I do. I think it helps. Right? It should be a familiar feeling. It's, you know, you guys have done this one before, right? So the back part of the row, and then come forward. Boom, right? Settle, send out, settle, send out. Settle, send out, settle, send out, settle. Right? And we're not super twisted here, but this is when we just sort of touched on the idea of a coiled spring last week. So before it was a little bit more twisty, right? But that feeling of potential energy getting ready to go, right? So if you exaggerate the motion, which usually in Aikido we're trying to refine the motion, not exaggerate the motion. But if you exaggerate it, right? Settle, get ready to go, wind up and launch, right? So you wouldn't really want to wind up because it's way too much telegraphing, but the feeling is still there, right? Sort of drop a little bit and send it. Okay, and then one quick exercise. I know we're over time again, but one quick exercise. If you like this movement and you'd like to try it on something, since you don't have a partner probably, Any item of furniture, any object you've got around is fine. So here, the idea is this. Touch, bounce back. Over the top, touch, bounce back. Touch, bounce back. Touch, bounce. You don't have to destroy your couch. You can just touch it. And again, the point, so part of it is targeting practice, which is always useful for martial artists. But a lot of it is check your body motion, like drop and then release and send it out. Let it come back. Drop and release and send it out. So every time there's this little sort of and that is what helps to launch. And then if you want to switch sides, right, because I've been just doing this on one side, right? So cut all the way through, other side. Touch, bounce back. Over the top, bounce back. Underneath, bounce back. Over the top, bounce back. And every time, try to feel the power coming through your center column. Descend, right? Oh, just like your elbows literally are coming down. I'm gonna size elbow first. That's the elbow. Boom. Right? It came straight down. It didn't go out somewhere. Straight down. Boom. And then, you know, if you get the hang of it, you can make any combination that pleases you. Boom. Boom. You can have 2 stools. Boom. And then get the other one behind you. Boom. 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 And again, and then you have an opportunity for randori in your living room, which is, you know, fabulous. Thing you would get to do with real people for sure. Let's go ahead and bow out before I forget. Okay.
Stop.